I like this tune.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There we go. We are off.
Nice.
Link's Awakening DX, any percent. No wrong warp, no out of bounds, no save and quit. Tournament.
No sword on B.
We'll see. Actually, after watching Crunchy last night, I think he swears by it. I don't know how he does it. Yeah, Alpha not with a timer, but that's not going to really be an issue, is where you taking the SRL time anyway.
Yeah.
So this is match 2 for Group H for both of these players. Both of them currently sitting at 0-1. So both of them still having a chance to advance, but they do have an uphill battle to climb. Whoever wins this will definitely be ahead and have a chance.
Alright, so you're gonna be seeing them do a damage boost off the Urchin here. Alpha actually failed because he took a hit prematurely. But Crunchy got it, and he got what's called early sort, where you can pick up the sort before the owl talks to you. Save like half a second. In fact, you can also do it without the damage boost, but the damage boost saves like 3 whole frames, so it's very important.
Doesn't sound like much, but over the course of a run, if you save 3 frames on every screen, that would add up.
Hey, 3 frames could make this task sub 50.
I forget the Taz. Let's get us to sub 50. Let's get a human
Yeah.
to do it.
Crunchy opting to get an additional heart.
Probably a good call with Moblin Skip coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
So one thing you will be seeing from these players as they move all over the world, and this will add up a lot of times over the course of the run, is clipping in the walls. You can clip every wall by a couple pixels. Doesn't seem like much, but it reduces the amount of movements that you have to make, and with all the moving we do in this game, that's a lot of time saved. Oh, Alpha almost had it.
I've never seen anyone phase right for that.
Yeah, I guess as long as you know you're lining up, you're good. So, Moblin Skip time. We'll see how kind these Moblins want to be. We want it to face up and shoot these players across the pit while they're clipped into the wall, so they won't instantly fall in. Just like that, Crunchy getting it very quickly.
That was really clean.
But no Owl Skip. We'll see if Alpha can take that one.
Nice, Alpha gets it too.
If he gets Owl Skip, he's back in it, and he does not.
Ah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Owl Skip saves about 5 seconds. Basically, what you do with Owl Skip is you open your start menu the frame after you open the chest, and you buffer save and quit menu out of that, and by doing that, you can leave the screen before the owl talks to you.
Crunchy looks like he's playing the game after a nuclear disaster. Okay, now let's see if these guys can get first try trendy game.
The hardest trick in the game.
Knock on wood, I haven't failed it yet, but I'm sure I will.
Oh, Alpha screwed up.
Oh, good thing we have extra rupees from that chest.
Yeah. He didn't hold B. I think he might have just pressed it by accident.
Unfortunate, but you know how this race can go. There's plenty of spots where he could easily catch up without a problem.
Definitely.
So, oh, and Crunchy having some issues getting that shovel out the door. Apparently the shopkeeper heard him. So we're trying to steal the shovel from the shopkeeper. Now, the shovel's not all that useful for us, but we will use it a couple times. However, it does unlock 2 things. It unlocks us being able to purchase bombs, which we will get 2 sets of, and it unlocks the bow and arrow, which costs 980 rupees, and needless to say, we will also be stealing that. That is going to be super important early in the run. Oh no, Alpha dying. Oh wait, it's intentional. That
So you'll
shopkeeper,
actually,
he is overpowered.
You'll see them do a open their save and quit menu here when they buy the bombs. They're doing that to skip the text from the shopkeeper. They're also gonna do that on every single chest in the game because it also skips the text.
So let's quickly talk about this category, because we mentioned the name, we didn't mention what it means. 90% beat the game as fast as possible with 3 major restrictions, one of which is no save and quit. Now we can open up the save and quit menu, that's fine. And for tournament rules, in the event of a soft lock, saving and quitting is allowed. However, you always have to return to the screen in which you save and quit on. We also have no out of bounds, which is you cannot... Gosh, this is such a tongue twister, I feel like. You cannot be more than one... Is it more than one tile away from a tile that you can normally stand on? It's something like that.
It's complicated.
Yes. You'll see later on why it's so complicated. And the other one is no wrong warping, which is wrong warping. You have to follow the proper transitions. You can't warp to somewhere you're unintended to from that location. It's both players making their way through Dungeon 1. A couple things you're going to be seeing right now is a lot of enemy kills, some of which are required, some of which you might look and go, why are you killing that? It's not in the way. But there's actually a reason, and that is for piece of power routing, which is something we'll talk about around about Dungeon 2 when it starts to affect us. Crunchy getting ready to pick up probably one of the most important pieces of equipment in this game, the feather, which helps us break it severely. Alpha is not that far behind. Definitely plenty of time to catch up. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, I think he's about 5 or 10 seconds behind. So he can still easily catch up.
And looking at the player's equipment, we're starting to see differences in menu routing.
Yep.
Which we'll discuss in a moment. But first, hey, what's Crunchy doing? Don't mind him. He's just jumping over a little key block, whatever. Yeah, key block. So that is called a super jump. The short version of it is clip yourself into a wall, jump, and swing your sword or bow and arrow or fire rod away from you. And it thinks you're jumping off a cliff, and you can use that to leap into places where you're not supposed to. There's also other ways of doing it. We'll discuss that more later. Hey, look, it's the overpowered bow and arrow. Did you guys see that mini-boss? Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, Crunchy opted to do the super jumps with this sword to save up on arrows. It's faster to do it with bow and arrow, but yeah, you can also waste a lot of arrows doing that, and you got it kind of close on arrows in this round.
Now, do keep in mind that Crunchy had to do an extra menu, which is about 2 seconds if you're quick at it. But, as Andrew said, you conserve some arrows, so over the course of his run, it might be better to do that. Both players getting Moldorm down very easily, not falling into the pit, and finishing up Dungeon 1. So now I brought up different menuing. We spend a lot of time on this run in menus, and if you're not used to your menu and where items are, you could waste minutes easily in that menu. And that adds up over the course of the run, obviously. A couple seconds here, a couple seconds there, an extra menu open there. So you'll see them trying to optimize their menus as much as they can, and knowing where their items are and where their cursor is.
Yeah, menuing is what separates an okay runner from a good runner. It just saves so much time.
One minor mistake compared to what you're used to early in the game, that could just mess you up the rest of the run.
Yeah, it's really annoying when that happens.
So Xander, you want to discuss Piece of Power a bit more, as you see them doing some more kills?
Sure, so, Piece of Power is an item that drops every 30 kills. That kill counter resets if you save and quit or die. And, when you pick up the Piece of Power, your movement speed gets increased by 25%, and you start doing double damage, and you get a knockback effect. So we're gonna hope for the Piece of Power to drop in Dungeons 2, 3, 5, and 6. However, if you have a Guardian Acorn, and a Piece of Power won't drop. So so you have to get rid of that if you want to get a piece of power. So they're coming up on Moblin King here. Basically, just spin slash and slash your sword and he's dead.
Now, one thing about both Piece of Power and the Guardian Acorn, if you leave or enter a cave or a dungeon, you will lose the effects of that. So in this case, if you were in the middle of a dungeon too, you would want to lose this acorn so you get your Piece of Power drop. However, in this cave, all Crunchy has to do is leave and he'll be alright, so no worries there.
Alpha is actually caught up quite a bit.
Indeed. Crunchy and Alpha now moving on to the next trick, a flock clip. Crunchy getting it first try, Subpixels helped him there. Same for Alpha. Just walk up against the block, hold left, text box appears, you get moved a bit to the left, and you can walk straight up. Oh wow, cooperating. I'd say for both players, getting decent kills. Now we'll see where their pieces of power drop, see if they've routed well.
Yeah, optimally you want it to drop in this room. Crunchy did not get it. Alpha did, though.
So that could be huge.
Oh, Crunchy's still not getting it.
No.
Let's see if he's going to kill the Shy Guys. He does not.
So I think he only has about one more kill for the mini-boss. And
there it is.
So not bad, he had a couple.
Oh, he even interacts with the pot.
But the important part is that he got his piece of power.
Yeah. Also, you lose your piece of power if you take 3 hits of damage through enemies. Things like spikes don't count.
Falling in pits don't count as well.
Yeah.
Apparently Crunchy heard me say that. He decided to test it out.
So Alpha is actually in the lead now. Not by much, but he's in the lead.
Yeah, lead's a lead, but again, still plenty of time this could go to either player.
Alright, so this is Ghost Skip. Basically, they have the ghosts come at them, they slash their sword in midair at them to and the ghosts will find the shortest path to Link, and they think that's through the left, so they go out of bounds and the game considers them dead. Also, this room you have to kill the enemies in a specific order to make the chest with the boss key appear. And the order being Bunny, Bat, Stalfos.
Heading on to the final boss of this dungeon, the Djinn. This can be a bit of a pain for newer runners. Hopefully these guys both get it first try. So normally what you're meant to do is pick up the pot, throw it, I think it's 3 times. It'll break, the boss will come out, and you kill him that way. However, what we're going to do is actually pick it up, clip ourselves into that wall on the top left, throw it while clipped into the wall, and it will instantly break. And then we're just going to use bombs and bomb arrows to kill them in one cycle. That'll save a lot of time.
Alpha just making sure he's clipped into the wall. I don't think he would have been if he didn't adjust.
Oh no, Crunchy.
Nice, Alpha gets the quick kill.
Nicely done.
See if Crunchy gets it as well. Nice, he
does.
does.
Huge time save.
So, they can actually clip past these flowers here, and they won't have to worry about Bow Wow eating them.
If only we could do that on the way in. So we didn't really talk much about Bow Wow. He is both our best friend and our worst enemy. At this point in the casual run, you're meant to return him to his owner in town. That's slow. We don't do that. we're gonna keep him with us for about the rest of the run. Now,
Yeah, the reason we do that is because returning him is slow, and he gets those extra kills.
Heart piece of shame.
Dance game.
So yeah, Bow will lead a lot of stuff on the way to dungeons. That's both a good thing and a bad thing. It helps with our piece of power. It also hurts with our pieces of power. You don't want to get it early because Bow Wow decides he's super hungry. More on that later. We're back over to Alpha screen where he's doing the next trick in the run, Villa Skip. We'll see if he can get a quick one here.
Let's see.
So what he's waiting for a specific audio cue of Link falling into the hole, at which point, coming out of the buffer, he's going to press down and transition down to the next screen. Right there.
I think that was an 11 buffer. It's pretty bad. So Veloskip is also based on a global frame rule. Basically, that means you can only fall into the pit every other frame. So you need to be falling on a so-called global frame. And that's basically luck. It's not RNG, just luck.
Crunchy getting it very quickly. I think it was about second try.
Nice, that's good.
Now again, if you've played this casually, you know you gotta walk all the way around, put the key in the keyhole, walk all the way back around again. Good programming. We don't do that. There's a keyhole in the backside, you just can't see it, and you gotta do it the right way. So entering Dungeon 3, I'd say about the first area of the game where you could potentially soft lock if you're not careful. That'll be coming later. And ideally, both players will also get a piece of power around about the middle of this dungeon. Now, if you are behind on kills at this point, there are plenty of enemies in the way that you can kill on your way and get a couple extra kills, as long as you know where you're at. Is that Guardian
Also, picking up keys is also based on the global frame rule. You can only pick them up every other frame, so picking them up on the first bounce is luck-based because they bounce for one frame the first time. You'll always pick them up on the second bounce, though.
Alpha, once again, getting a piece of power right in the room he wants it. Coming up next to the Dongo Skip. Getting it first try. We will be back there again shortly. Now, if you're not careful, you can actually land in the middle of the rocks there and soft lock yourself. Crunchy, this time getting his piece of power room early.
At least he got it.
Indeed. Oh no!
Oh, he's soft locked.
That's the soft lock!
So he's gonna have to save and quit now, which again is allowed for the tournament. Because we don't want players forfeiting to stupid things like soft locks.
And Alpha getting the second go around first try as well.
So this is gonna waste him like a minute.
Not only that, it's going to throw off his piece of power routing.
That
That
too.
counter is now reset. Now, again, there's enough areas in this run that can go wrong that Crunchy is not at all out of this race.
Although I don't think it's gonna affect his piece of power too much, because he only just got it and then he soft locked. Alpha getting a really nice quick kill on Vitreous. Crunchy is struggling with this room.
I blame Sword on B.
Yep, that's exactly the cause. Sword on B has been proven to be objectively slower.
Now, will Alpha go for the bomb trigger here? No. I don't blame him either. So there's a bomb trigger you can do there to despawn Meow. We'll see more of that later, though. Don't worry about it now. Just put it in your back pocket for a while. And by a while, I mean about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that bomb trigger can skip the owl animations of the owl flying in and out, but it only saves like a second and a half, and it's kind of difficult to do.
Just
So I don't
sometimes
blame
it's
him
not even
for
worth it.
not going for it.
So coming up next on another huge soft lock potential, and you heard us mention this earlier in Walrus Skip. Both players actually having a backup save file in case this goes wrong. I'll leave the explanation to Xander. You could probably do a better job than me.
Alright, so basically they're going to do a bomb trigger on the screen, and I don't think you did explain exactly how bomb triggers work, did you?
No, I did not.
Alright, so basically the game does not expect two bombs to blow up quickly after one another, but we can make sure that happens by dropping them while transitioning. So when that happens, the game just doesn't know what to do, and it just activates cutscenes. And let's see if Alpha gets it. He does.
Yep.
So for Walrus Skip specifically, you actually need to leave the screen in a specific way depending on your subpixel. Well, I don't think it depends on your subpixel if you do the sideways method. But if you do it from the top, it does depend on subpixels. Anyway, if you do it wrong, you'll actually soft lock because when you do Walrus Skip, you actually cannot use your buttons aside from your directional pad until you enter a cave or a dungeon. So, if you leave the screen too early, the walrus is going to be there still when you get back, but you won't be able to use your buttons, so you can't go anywhere, so you're just stuck. And if you leave the screen too late, a bunny will come up and you won't be able to move. So in both cases, you would have to hard reset and load a save file, which is allowed for the tournament.
And has happened in the tournament, unfortunately. And you may have seen on Alpha screen a sand pit and some arrows firing and the key spawning and not much else. Yeah, that was a boss. We never see him. You'll see him again later, except you won't actually.
Crunchy is opting to do Walrus Skip from the top, which is a little simpler than the sideways wet method.
Alpha currently making his way to Dungeon 4 Keyhole. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a long trek, and hopefully he doesn't forget to go to the Keyhole before the dungeon, as they are quite a ways away from each other.
That's totally never happened before.
Crunchy getting Walrus Skip down, that's good.
Nice.
Heading up to the cave and then the Landmula fight.
Alpha's having some trouble with this area. There's a lot of enemies here, and you need to try to avoid them.
Bow Wow can earn his keep there, but again, if he eats too much, he'll get an early piece of power before Dungeon 5.
Also, Crunchy actually messed up that Lamola fight there. Normally, you would actually kill Lamola before he appears because his sprite's already on the screen. But I think he missed one of his arrows, so Lamola went to a different place.
Coming up on one of our favorite tricks over on Alpha screen, and one we'll see a couple times in the run, Obstacle Skip. It doesn't actually do much. It saves us, like, half a second if we get it. Yeah, if that. But if you fail it, you lose, like, 2 seconds. So it's not even worth it. You got it first try there.
No, it's definitely worth it. Trust me.
Worth it enough that we go for it.
Yeah. This is actually the second most important trick in the game. The most important one we'll see later.
Gee, I wonder what that is. So, Alpha entering Dungeon 4. We'll be seeing this again later. We're actually only going to complete half the dungeon now. The reason being is, if we cleared the dungeon, we'd actually have to do a long side quest, including a ghost, that wastes, I don't know how much time, but a lot of time.
About 5 minutes, I think.
We actually have a way of avoiding that, and you'll be seeing that later. I hate this room. I hate the entire beginning of D4. Like, I always just flirt with death the entire time.
Alright, so Alpha is now coming up on what I like to call dumb jump number 1. Let's see if he gets it. Nice, first try. So that jump is like really tricky to do because you need to jump around the block and not fall in the water. That room is just so stupid. You need to like, sometimes if you make the jump, you'll just get knocked into the water by the Tektite.
Coming up now to one of our favorite mini-bosses, it's Cue Ball. He hasn't put up much of a fight. I say that and then...
Yeah, Alpha actually missed the quick kill, or the stun lock, I guess.
I've done that myself plenty of times. Grabbing the safety fairy, it looks like. And in a moment, he will have the mermaid... No, not the mermaid. The flipper.
Yeah, they're gonna grab the flippers. Ooh, piece of power. That's unfortunate.
Yes. The Crunchy getting obstacle skip. Nice.
So they're gonna grab the flippers so they can enter D5. Which was the entire purpose of entering D4 here. We're gonna finish D4 later because the flag for the ghost to not appear is when you get the level 2 bracelet in D6.
That is correct.
Don't ask me why it's there.
Hey Xander, why is that there?
Because subpixels.
Gotcha. So,
Remember, this is LEDX, you can blame everything on subpixels.
I thought I could just do that in any game. So one thing you are seeing is a lot of use of the speed boots. It makes you go fast. You want to use them as much as you can, but use them optimally. You don't want to bonk against the walls. That'll slow you down.
But using the boots is actually not the fastest form movement in the game. Technically, using the hookshot is the fastest form of movement in the game if you don't count the time that you need to actually shoot the hookshot to an object. But realistically, the fast form of movement is actually diagonal jumping, because if you walk diagonally, you walk slower than when you walk straight forward. I think if you walk straight forward, it's 16 subpixels every frame, and if you walk diagonally, it's 12. But if you jump diagonally, you still move 16 subpixels every frame, so it's really fast.
By the way, over on Crunchy's screen, he opted to not bother with the dumb jump and instead use the bomb arrow to get rid of the rock. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, that doesn't even waste much time. Probably about 5 seconds.
It does waste a bomb and an arrow, however, he did save a couple arrows earlier on the run.
Nice, Alpha gets really good RNG there with the helmet stories, and you can do a spin slash to kill both of them.
And I'm just sitting here shaking my head.
Alright, Master Stalfos. We're gonna kill Master Stalfos 4 times using 2 different methods. This is the first method here. We're gonna just shoot 2 bomb arrows and drop a bomb. And he leaves.
I think he barely got that 3rd bomb in.
Yeah, he did.
So we have 4 of those fights. The 1st and 4th, you both have to get 3 hits on. The 2nd and 3rd, you have to get 2. You have to do them in a certain order. There's 4 rooms that he spawns in, and you have to do them, again, in a certain order, or else he will not spawn.
Alright, so this is the second method here. We throw a bomb up, then spin slash, and drop another bomb when he gets boosted into the room.
Meanwhile, Crunchy entering D5. I haven't been paying attention to see if he's had a piece of power recently, so he could get one in here.
He might.
If so, that'd be really good for him.
Also, these helmet swords are coded kind of poorly. You have to be facing the same way as them to actually kill them. Like, for instance, you could be like on the side of their face, and face away from them, and you can just kill them. It's really dumb.
So unfortunately, Crunchy getting a Guardian Acorn, he chose to lose it right away in case Piece of Power was about to drop. Because if he was underneath X of that and Piece of Power was scheduled to drop, it would not drop and he'd lose out.
Yep. Also, Alpha doing a naked super jump there. That involves just doing a super jump without using an item. It's kind of tricky because you need to jump, then push into the wall immediately for at least a certain amount of frames, and then push away from the wall as well. So it's kind of tight for timing.
Coming up to the dumb jump too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he failed it.
Almost had it. So you're not meant to make this jump. You're actually meant to defeat the 4th Master Stalfos and get the hook shot and then come here. But we found you could just jump over this pit and get the hook shot later. Saves us a bit of backtracking.
Yeah, this is actually easier with Piece of Power. Always opting to get an extra heart.
Yeah, probably a good call. I was just about to mention that.
Because if you
some time to catch up.
After you get the boss key there, you actually have to drop in a pit, and if you're on half a heart, you'll die, which would count as a death warp, in which case you'd have to go back to this screen after dying. Because death warping is not allowed. Yeah, Alpha's having a lot of trouble with this. There he goes.
They give Crunchy a bit of time to catch up. Gotta grab himself another safety heart.
Yeah, he's on a heart and a half. Probably a good call.
I've learned where some of the heart drops are in this dungeon. If you're not careful, it's real easy to end up at low health, in part because of that jump.
Oh, Crunchy actually missed there.
Yeah, and Alpha just had a Piece of Power drop. However, at this point, it's not really worthwhile to pick it up, because we will want to lose it later on before the boss.
Alpha having some trouble with this room here. This is like the worst room in the entire game, honestly.
Those Helmasaurs, they are the worst. So we'll see if Crunchy can get dumb jump number 2 first try.
Ah. Come on. Second try? I think he moved diagonally there. If you move diagonally, you can't make it anymore. He's also manually setting up for it.
That works that time. Still got it a lot quicker than Alpha.
Definitely did.
Takes the Alpha now, defeating the 4th Master Stalfos, picking up that hookshot, the dungeon item.
Also, pro tip, don't leave the room after you kill him because you'll have to fight him again. I've done that way too many times. Just push against the door when he's dying and not pick up the hookshot.
I think that hookshot makes those Helmasaurs a lot easier.
Yeah, it does. I think it's slower to equip hookshot though. Not by much. We actually picked up an acorn. I don't think that's gonna affect anything though.
No, the only thing that affects him is having his Xbox, so it's lost of about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So ideally, if he was still under the effects of Piece of Power, he would lose it either in this room or the next room. And that would help him out on the boss coming up, Wall Snake. I'll let you do the explanation on him. I'm horrible at it.
No, first we need to explain dumb jump number 3. Or he didn't go for the dumb jump, but basically you can do another dash jump there, and it's also really dumb. Alright, so Wall Snake, we're gonna pull him out of the wall, preferably 2 times. He takes 8 hits total. So we can get a total of 5 hits in every cycle, but getting 5 is a little tight, so generally you'd go for 4. So, usually you'd stand either on the top of or the bottom of the screen and react to what side Wall Snake is on. Alpha's actually opting to just stay on one side so he can just properly pull him out of the wall without any risk. But if you have Piece of Power for this fight, it actually makes it a lot harder because it gives the boss invincibility frames, and there's just a really long delay between being able to hit him. Yeah, Alpha did not have a very good fight.
So once again, that could give Crunchy some time to catch up, and this race could easily turn within the next few minutes.
Crunchy also not going for the dumb jump.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Sometimes it's best to just take a save.
Also, if you mash Feather when under a ceiling underwater, you can you move faster. That's a dumb jump too. It's a dumb jump if you do it with boots.
Crunchy, not a bad ball snake fight. Now both players are going to be heading to the Armos maze in order to pick up the Dungeon 6 key. The Armos maze can be a bit tricky. You can take a lot of damage, but you can also get a lot of arrows from it. Bow Wow cooperates.
Bomb fairies not being nice.
Are they ever?
Sometimes. Alright, so the runners are gonna rely on some arrow drops in Armo's maze here. Because they'll need I think like at least 3 arrows if they want to be fast for D6. Generally speaking, they should be fine though.
Those Zols love getting in the way.
Yep. Alright, so coming up is Armo's King. There's several strats that you can do for this. Looks like Alpha is going for boot strats. There's also something called shovel strats, which is basically when you just dash, then use the shovel, which means you'll be dashing in place. And from there on out, you can just equip sword and you won't be able to get hit, but you can hit the boss. It's pretty cool. Alpha's having a lot of trouble though. He was trying to go for a 3 cycle, but he kind of screwed it up.
A bit of a backup in grabbing the feather. That way, as long as you jump before he hits the ground, you won't get stunned and you can carry on with what you were doing.
At least he didn't die.
Indeed. Both players hurting a bit for health.
Ooh, Piece of Power there. That's really early.
Indeed. Now, you want to be careful not to die. Now, you could enter the cave coming up and take an intentional death if you really want to do. Alternatively, there is a fairy fountain that these players will be passing. You can bomb it and just pick up the spare fairy there.
Yeah, Alpha's playing it safe so he doesn't die. I didn't see Crunchy's Armo's King fight.
I had to look away for a moment, but he survived half a heart.
I'm not gonna blame him if he just takes an intentional death here. That's what I would do.
Same, I don't think he will, though.
Alpha's going for the fairy fountain. Chances are he's gonna die here, which would be a pretty rough setback.
At least I see another early piece of power. Those bomb fairies, they are the worst. You could hear them not cooperating there.
Alright, so Alpha's gonna shoot a bomb arrow towards the dungeon, and that's gonna manipulate Bow Wow to eat the cutscene.
Bow Wow is the strongest person or character enemy in all of history.
Exactly.
Oh, Crunchy taking a death screen away from that fairy fountain. That's gonna put him back where he fought in the Armos maze. He tried. He did such a good job. You know, I don't think I've seen two players that do that room Alpha was just in the same way. Everyone has their own little take on it.
Which room?
The dark room with the Forzals.
No, there's only like a couple strats for it. There's not really much you can do differently there.
Everyone seems to kill different ones with a bomb or arrows or sword.
Alright, so what Alpha did there was he used his hook shot next to an object, the object being the pot, and that gave him invincibility. And it's gonna keep him invincible until he uses the hook shot again or transitions.
Crunchy also getting the cutscene eat.
Alright, so this room. I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, I didn't think it would. He entered the room really low, so he put the bomb down too low and he couldn't hit the leftmost Wizrobe. That room is particularly bad if you have Piece of Power because you have a knockback effect and you hit the Wizrobe very far back. Ooh, Alpha almost soft blocked there.
Yeah, there's another soft lock potential coming up, although we do have a very good visual cue to avoid it.
Yep. Also, another flock clip here. Alright, let's see if he gets this.
That's... Oh, you know, it's hard for us to tell because of the way the screen's cropped.
It's a little cut off at the top.
Now, fortunately, if you fail it in that position, you can still jump back down, so it's not a soft lock. You can also boots out of it depending on your position.
I think he's just, like, super jumping late. There he goes.
There we go. Goodbye, Dodongoos. We don't like you.
Alright, so Horsehead's coming up. Horseheads have a 25% chance of both standing up, which is what you want them to do. So you got second try, that's pretty good.
So yeah, those Horseheads can really wreck you and ruin a run. It's total RNG, not really in your control. So it could take one try, it could take 20 tries.
Yeah, we've had multiple reroutes, but somehow we seem to keep re-adding Horseheads to the route. Also, interesting strat there. I've never seen anyone hit the Wizrobe with the sword.
I saw that. I guess it's not a bad idea if you're, for some reason, really low on bombs.
Yeah. It does waste a menu, though, but...
So yeah, this is Facade. We can hit him 3 times before he appears, full hitbox. But after that, when he goes invisible, you can't hit him. So you have to get 2 more hits with bombs when he appears. While dodging these flying tiles, they take about, I believe it's a heart each, maybe a heart and a half. So if you take too many hits, you will die. Crunchy heading to his Horsehead room. First try!
Nice.
Good Horseheads from both players.
Also, the flock clips in D6 can be a little finicky. They're kind of RNG based. Or subpixel based, rather. Subpixels are RNG, though.
You know, all things considered, Crunchy is still not that far behind.
Yeah. I think he's only like about a minute behind, minute and a half. So he can still catch up, definitely.
So from the end of this dungeon, we're heading back to Dungeon 4. Now that we have the level 2 bracelet, we don't have to worry about that ghost side quest.
So yeah, we're coming up on the hardest boss as well in D4.
I personally can't do it. Like, I practice an hour a day on it.
Gravone should do that.
Right? You know, I don't even know if I was going to bring it up. I've laid into him a couple times now.
Alright, Crunchy also finishing D6. So they're gonna go do a pretty cool super jump here. They're gonna super jump, think off of the P hat, which will change their direction in midair, and they'll be able to get to the boss key, as you'll see in a second.
Pretty cool to watch.
So he's gonna clip into the wall, pick up the pots, and do a super jump. Just like that. And that skips like half of the dungeon, I think.
And the developers were very smart and put the boss door right there, and you can jump to it.
Yep.
On to the favorite boss, Anglerfish. Oh, Mrs.
Oh,
Sword
Alpha failed the
Slash.
black swim.
I personally wouldn't even swim down at that point, but he might want to conserve his bombs and arrows. So at that point, it's either 1 sword slash and 2 bomb arrows, or 3 bomb arrows, and he is dead. And word of advice, don't hookshot the heart.
Alright, so Crunchy is also coming up on the early boss key. And he gets it as
Right.
well. Nice. What happens if you hookshot the heart? Nothing happens. You can't hookshot down.
Yeah.
Let's see. Crunchy also fails the black spin there.
Shot a bomb arrow to the side. I think his bomb and arrow counts are still alright for D7.
Yeah, you have plenty of bombs in the route.
So coming up shortly on our second visit to Obstacle Skip. That'd be amazing if both players get it first try. We will be 4 for 4 at that point.
Yep. Alright, so let's see if Alpha can get it. I think he's going to get it.
Oh,
He still got it. Nice.
Nice.
He didn't buffer a jump out of the transition.
So coming up to probably the most difficult trick in the run for reals this time, it's Rooster Skip. Be interesting to see how these players do. It's one of those things where if you fail it, you don't just fall into a pit and get set back to the beginning of the room. You actually fall down a waterfall, and you waste about 30 seconds as you have to make your way back up.
Yeah, it's very painful to fail this.
Oh,
Ooh,
no!
he fell down. Oh, he's gonna try to save it, I think, with the hook shot.
Yeah, I believe so, but Bow Wow right there
Ah,
was not cooperating. That is unfortunate.
that's some reaction speed, though.
And that is why this race is not over.
Yep. So, let's start explaining Rooster Skip. So, basically, we're, supposed to get a rooster to fly over this huge pit, but instead we're gonna do something called hookshot jumping, which basically means, we're gonna use the hookshot on the pit, and then when it fully retracts to Link, you can actually jump for 1 frame. So let's see how Alpha does. So there's a buffer method and an unbuffer method. Alpha is doing the buffer method. which is a lot easier. He should get it. Nice.
Nice. Second try. And I did watch on Crunchy's screen. He did not get the obstacle skip. Unfortunate. But not the end of the world.
So if Crunchy gets his first try, he's gonna catch up a lot.
And Bow Wow can be your worst enemy here. He can get in the way of your hook shot, and that'll just completely mess you up.
Crunchy's also going the buffer method.
Ooh.
One buffer on the second jump.
Nicely done by Crunchy.
Nice.
First try Rooster Skip. He is back in this race.
Oh, I think Alpha forgot about that pit. I used to always forget about that.
As you can see there, Bow Wow wanting to get in the way of the hook shot again. Not a big deal there.
Alright, so we're gonna come up on D7. Bao can also eat this cutscene. If you wait just a little bit after throwing up the rock. He wait. Oh, he got it?
Oh, wow!
I was not expecting that.
Neither was I. Alpha showing us something.
Because usually, what you do there is you throw the rock up and you wait a little, then push into the thing. But he waited really long as well, so that's interesting.
If you played this game casually, you might remember D7 as being very long and a bit of a pain. We severely break it in this run, and I think it ends up being one of the shorter dungeons.
Yep. Basically, casually, you have to use this ball and break all the pillars. Well, we're gonna break the pillars, but we're gonna use a different kind of ball.
Crunchy also getting cutscene.
Nice. Alpha's having some trouble with these bomb triggers here. So yeah, basically, we're gonna do 4 bomb triggers to break all the pillars.
You don't want to waste too many bombs on these. You do still have a wall you need to bomb, but I think Alpha will be quite fine.
Alpha actually went for unbuffered there. Yeah, he's having some trouble, even with buffering the bomb triggers.
And you do want to be careful not to fall in those pits. I saw Alpha cutting it kind of close there for a bit.
Yeah, as long as he just breaks this wall, he's fine. Because he can get backup bombs if he runs out. He didn't run out, though.
Nice. So that 4th bomb trigger is required to do it on the transition. The other 3, you can do it in pits.
So Crunchy's caught up a lot now. I think Crunchy is just playing it safe, buffering the bomb triggers. Whereas Alpha tried to do some unbuffered and failed.
Now, do you think we'll see any Goomba skips?
He's actually opting to get 2 extra sets of bombs. You have to get at least 1, but he's just getting another one for safety.
So there's 2 different ways of getting to the boss room in this dungeon, the way we do it. First one is you can see Alpha trying his Goomba Surf, doing a naked super jump on that wall, landing on top of a Goomba that needs to move to the top right, and landing on the ledge above.
Yeah, he wasn't getting very good RNG. Crunchy's going for the old strat.
This strat involves a super jump and slashing your sword onto that P-hat.
Second try, not that bad.
It
Yeah,
spends
this
more
is
time, but
optimally this is about 12 seconds slower than Goomba Surf.
that's optimally. The Goombas cannot cooperate, in which case we lose a lot of time. Now we're gonna break Evil Eagle, again using bombs.
Yeah, Crunchy could definitely still win this. Ooh, Alpha actually missed the bomb there.
Crunchy missing his first bomb.
Let's see if he gets this. Alpha is not doing very well in this.
A lot of newer players seem to struggle with this at times. Oh,
Yeah.
Crunchy
He's
on the
doing
last hit gets knocked off.
Alpha's doing it kind of in a weird way, because usually the strat for this is when you enter the screen, you buffer a bomb out of it. Then when he leaves the screen, you drop a bomb and throw it up once, and you do that twice and he's dead. But he was just keeping the bomb in his hands. So Crunchy is actually catching up a lot here.
However, now he needs to grab the heart and not fall off the ladder. I have seen players do that. Alright, he's good.
Yeah, that's the scariest part. Especially back when we always used to do the P-hat super jump. You would have hookshot equipped and you can just stand at the bottom and hookshot up, and it's just like so scary because you can easily fall off.
And if you fall off, then... Oh! Really got it. Alright, skip the pit. If you fall off, even if the heart's sitting there, you have to redo that boss again.
Yep. It's
So,
really painful.
What Alpha just did, you're not meant to do that. You're meant to jump down and fall in the pit. However, oh no! Well, you see what Crunchy did there. Fell in.
Oh no!
Quite a bit. Yeah, if you buffer the saving quit menu on the transition, and then you hold down the left coming out of it, you can actually jump over the pit.
Crunchy also doesn't know you can just swim down there. Apparently, that's like 15 seconds slower to go to D4 first. To be fair, I didn't know that until like a week ago.
You might need to show me that one, because I've made
basically when you
quite a few times.
when you leave that cave, you can just swim straight down and go up the staircase, and you're here.
I did not realize that. But again, this race is not over. We still have Dungeon 8, and then the final boss.
Yeah, and when we get to the final boss, that's gonna be like... that's gonna decide who wins, basically.
Combination of RNG and just who has been practicing. So another skip coming up. At this point, you're meant to have the Mirror Shield from Dungeon 7. You may have noticed we never picked it up. So we're going to do a trick called the Flame Skip, which is clipping in the wall, using the boots to run up, and then quickly move to the left and avoid taking too much damage from this flame coming up.
Elf is having some trouble flipping into the wall. There he goes.
So
You have to
ideally,
clip
wanna do
into
it
the
like
wall.
that.
You have to clip in the wall, because otherwise you get knocked back.
And another bomb trigger coming up here to open Dungeon 8. This is required in the route.
But they have to kill the moblin for that bomb trigger, or it won't work.
My cat's decided to fight. I apologize if you hear that.
Oh no,
Oh, what?
Alpha actually tanked against the turtle.
So, you can actually just walk straight through the head there and enter the dungeon. Not quite sure what happened there. So this dungeon is a bit like a maze. We're going to be bombing some walls that, from this side, you wouldn't realize you could bomb. And that's going to save us a bunch of time.
Yeah, this is just the kind of dungeon where we just have nothing to really say about it.
I don't think it really explained bomb arrows. If you put down a bomb and then shoot an arrow within, I believe it's 4 frames, it will either explode instantly if it's on the wall, or just shoot the bomb and explode instantly when it hits a wall.
I don't think anyone knows if those are even intended or not.
And yeah, you can push that block from the side. Don't ask. Crunchy,
Yeah, that's actually pixel
the
perfect
bomb
if
trigger.
you... That's actually pixel perfect if you don't clip into the wall. Or into the blocks, I guess.
Okay, Crunchy getting his bomb trigger as well. So remember how we struggled to explain out of bounds in this category? Well, you're about to see why on a trick coming up known as Lano Skip that unfortunately is not allowed in this category anymore because of the specific description.
Yeah,
So
basically,
look
you
at
can
this
do
room.
a super jump to the middle of the room you saw before and just jump off the ledge on the right. But because it's 2 tiles away from any accessible tile, it's considered out of bounds.
Despite it looking like it's a tile you can stand on. That was Blano. If you take too long, he can punch you essentially to the beginning of the dungeon.
Yeah. Fun fact: if you could push that left block, it would not be out of bounds.
If only we could. Maybe I need to make that my life's goal. Try and find a way to push it so that it's in bounds again. I don't think I'll succeed. So with both players in D8, again, Crunchy's not out of this race. This can still go either way. We have the Fire Rod now. That is used for the most important trick coming up in a couple of minutes here. But first, in case you missed part of D4 or it's your favorite dungeon, don't worry, we've got your back. It's the return of Cue Ball. He hasn't gotten any better. Cue Ball, that is. Apparently Alpha has gotten better at Cue Ball. And now
Alright,
every LED
this is
the
the room.
So everyone's got a different way of doing this. Your goal is to cover all of the black tiles with whatever you want to call that thing, while at the same time jumping as close to the chest as you can before it spawns.
If you mess up a single input, you have to start over. It's very fun.
Not. For the next trick coming up, it's called Jesus Jumping. You're going to see Alpha actually jump onto one of the lava tiles. And on the last frame before he falls in, where you see his splash particles, you can actually you actually get pushed down a couple pixels into the wall, just like that, and clipped so you can do a super jump. And now time for a Hothead. Do you want to explain him?
So Hothead, basically you just hit him a million times with the Fire Rod and hope he dies. Because nobody knows how his HP works. Although what we do know is, he doesn't take damage in his second phase until he starts falling down. So yeah, that's where Hothead. We fight fire with fire for some reason, because that makes sense.
Will we see it? Will we see it?
Wow, he didn't go for it? He is banned.
Banned. For shame. I tried making the case that should add an hour to his time, but the admins didn't buy it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a little talk with Alpha after this race.
Crunchy getting the first frame Jesus jump. Because now you're going to see Alpha starting to make his way to the Windfish Egg. The very end of the game.
Also, Hothead actually deals 3 hearts of damage. That's a lot. Anything can still happen. Crunchy can still catch up.
Oh, yeah.
He missed the heart because he jumped.
Now, will we see it on Crunchy's
He
screen?
re-equipped the Fire Rod. Nice.
Yeah!
Wang boys.
There we go!
You re-equipped the Fire Rod just for the Wang. And wow, we don't even have Wang boys.
So, over on Alpha screen, you were doing a bomb trigger to start this cutscene, since we don't have the ocarina. I'm having a bit of trouble with it. There we go.
I'm not sure if Alpha knows you can just press up and bombs to do bomb triggers. Because he's been doing them just like drop a bomb, open menu, and then buffer bombs in transition.
Perhaps. So both players still very close, separated by only about a minute. And anything can happen here. So, who's going to explain what's about to happen?
I guess we'll explain it as it happens.
Yeah,
Cutscene's almost over.
You're gonna see a lot happen in a very
Yeah.
short amount of time.
Alright, so basically, to start off, we're gonna go head into the egg, and, it's a maze. Every room looks the same, because it's actually one room. You're supposed to read this book, but if you never read that, the path is always the same. It's left, left, up, right, up, left, up, lure. So that's what you're gonna see Alpha doing.
And then, when we go to the boss, there's actually another bomb trigger we can do. If you spam your bombs quick enough, the boss will never speak to us. And it not only does it skip a long text box, it completely stops the music.
Alright, you got it. Cool.
Nice. Now, will he get the Landmilla quick, or not Landmilla, the Blob quick kill?
He's not on the right pixel. He's not gonna get it. He also left his sword charged. Yeah, I'm not sure if he knows how to do it.
I'm guessing not. Truthfully, I didn't even know up till recently. Yeah, there's a quick kill there. If you stand on the correct pixel and swing your sword at the right time, the boss just dies. Otherwise, you have to re-equip your powder and do it this way.
I think there's about a minute between the runners right now. Crunchy could still pull back.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of RNG coming up in this fight. On the Aghanim, as just mentioned RNG, so these first two balls are guaranteed to be good. After that, it's 50-50 on if you get a good one or a bad one.
Crunchy also gets the bomb trigger. Why did he equip Fire Rod? I think that was an accident. Oh, Crunchy's also too low. He's not gonna get it. Not sure if Crunchy knew how to do it either.
Alright, on to Moldorm for Alpha. Will he get the quick kill and the stun lock? I think he's a little low.
Yeah, he was too low.
So you can stun lock Moldorm and just take care of him within like 4 seconds.
Let's see. Yeah, I think Moldorm takes like 16 hits or something. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Every time I get 12 hits, I'm like, alright, he's done. Oh wait, no, he's not. One of the Nightmare of Ganon, dash into him for 12 hits.
Let's see how many blue balls Crunchy gets. I didn't see how many Alpha got.
Over on the Alpha screen, just got the quick kill on Lamela. All you had to do was spin slash your sword at the right time, and now on to the final phase, Deathel.
Crunchy finishing Aghanim. Oh, he also failed Moldorm quick kill. It's still possible for Deathel to take like a minute to open his eye, though.
Indeed. So we gotta get 16 hits in with arrows.
But I think this is pretty much decided at this point.
Indeed.
Oops. Okay.
There it is.
Yep.
GG to Alpha.
Alpha is done. You're gonna actually stand in the corner and just moonwalk up to the stairs to get on them for on the first possible frame. And Alpha finishes with an SRL time of 1:08:36. Which I think is a PB for him.
Oh yeah, by about 6 minutes. Crunchy, if not for that soft lock, Crunchy would be on pace for an amazing PB as well by over 15 minutes.
So Alpha's waiting in the waiting room. Let's pull him into the commentary channel.
Alright.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Hello.
Yes, no, I had my mic muted more than one way.
Congratulations on your victory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels good. Pretty sure my D5 could have gone significantly better.
It was good enough.
Yeah, that was the hardest. That's the hardest dungeon for me is
Well,
D5.
over on Crunchy's screen, just now finishing with an SRL time of 109.33, so less than a minute separating both of
Nice.
you. Well
Yeah,
done.
you guys actually switched leads a couple times.
It was pretty close the entire race. That was nice.
That's good. I can ask for a close race. That'll make up for the part where we're terrible.
Also, you didn't go for Wang. You're gonna have to explain yourself here.
My brain wasn't working. I'm dumb, and
Same.
that's why I didn't get sub hour. Was I missed Wang?
For
Exactly.
shame. But congratulations on your PB. Is that an actual PB for you?
Yeah, that's an actual PB because
Nice.
pretty much all of my better runs I've been really stupid and died to Deathel.
Really?
Not today.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, let me just turn off my stream. I think one of my for whatever reason I don't know why. Like I used to be really consistent with the D5 early dungeon key, but now it takes me like a million tries and I have no idea.
That's dumb jump number 2 for you.
So, guess who just joined? Hello.
Ooh, who? Tell me.
So, GG Crunchy. Unfortunately, not an official PB again, but
Again.
a very good time.
This has been my week in a nutshell. That felt like the best start I've ever had, and then D3.
Yeah,
That was
T3 was
unfortunate.
a shame.
For those that missed it, Crunchy actually soft locked on the Dodongo skip and had to save and quit, which is valid for tournament rules because they save and quit and return to that room. Unfortunately, on SRC leaderboards, it is not.
Yeah.
So PB is PB, and
Yeah.
leaderboards don't really matter unless you have a top time. At least in my opinion.
Well, I'm not gonna get one if I keep doing things like that.
But hey,
get
you're
better.
improving.
GG, congratulations, dude.
Yeah, really. It's a good race if we finished within a minute of each other.
Yeah, and we both finished well ahead of our PBs actually,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
pretty slick. Did you have to do anything funny, or is yours an actual PB?
No, that's 6 minutes over my PB on the leaderboards. Which is about what I figured I could get if I didn't do incredibly dumb things and fail Rooster Skip. Although I did fail Rooster Skip in the dumbest way possible because Bow Wow was not being nice to me this run.
Oh,
Oh,
that was
please.
unfortunate.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
room
just- I
before
jumped and I'm
Rooster
like, okay, I
Skip.
have the hook shot back up, and Bow Wow just sat there.
Yeah,
Oh,
the room before Rooster Skip is actually harder than the skip, though. To be
Yeah.
honest.
that's why I just take the safe route.
And then Bow Wow was just eating everything. I've never seen it so hungry.
I'm hungry. But no, if it makes you feel any better, I found new and creative ways to die and waste time. Like, I didn't die in the Armos maze, but I died by touching one of those bomb-throwing guys, not even by getting blown up. So I had to go all the way back to the shrine to
You were so close, one screen away from that fairy fountain.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I was. I had the same problem because I had boot strats, and then I just completely botched it, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I decided I'm not consistent enough with bootstraps. I'm just going to use feather strats, and I still took a couple of hits, but I managed to pull it off, so...
And you also had some decent RNG in your run. You got first try horse heads, and then you also got first try rooster skip.
Which I have literally never done before in a run, ever. And then I go and botch the leaving D7, because I was so worried that I would accidentally save and quit, even though in hindsight it shouldn't have mattered, that I didn't do the inputs correctly, and I just fell down the hole instead.
Oh,
I can't even say much. I've done that before.
It happened to me the other night in an actual PB attempt where I was 8 minutes ahead, so I'm like really paranoid about it now.
I don't think I've ever fallen in that pit when coming back from D7, but I've fallen in there once when I went to D7.
Oh Jesus!
Oh no.
Oh no! No, I did that once because I was watching the guides and I didn't actually pay attention, and so on every one of my PB attempts, I just started trying random things because apparently holding a direction and then trying to save and quit didn't work. that killed a lot of my PB runs.
Crunchy, at least you had enough bombs for this round.
Yeah, I made sure to grab an extra thing of bombs, just in case.
Both of you did.
I did that because I'm like, if I do something stupid, on Evil Eagle again. I'm gonna need these extra bombs.
I got knocked down, so I had to fight him twice, but it's whatever. Excuse me.
So I
Evil
think
Eagle just- ugh.
we're ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I suppose so, then.
GG to both of you. That was a fun race to watch. Very close the entire way.
Yep, definitely.
As long as everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's what really matters.
I guess we could say what's next on the schedule. Next LADX race is tomorrow at noon EST, which is me versus Sekinor. Me being Xander.
That'll be a good race to
Oh, that
watch.
should be
Yeah, that's
good.
gonna be a close race. Our PBs are, I think, 17 seconds apart,
Oh
Ooh.
Jesus!
something like that.
That will be close.
So yeah, make sure to check that out.
In the meantime, if you want to keep it locked to Speed Gaming, we've got a couple different things coming up. Got a bit of a break on Speed Gaming 2. At 4 p.m., we have Metroid Fusion. But over on twitch.tv/Speed Gaming, they should be finishing up a Super Metroid Rando right now, and then immediately following, there's another one.
So much from Super Metroid Rando.
Bunch of Metroid today. Got more Metroid Fusion later, as well as at 8 p.m., the link to the past entrance shuffle tournament. But I think that is it for us for today.
I'm going to give a quick shameless plug. The Metroid Fusion race at 7, that is me as well. So you want to come watch me get my face pounded in by Hercules bench press, come check it out.
Well, have fun with that.
Oh,
Well, that's
yeah,
it for
have
us. Thank you to Feasel and everybody over at Speed Gaming for setting this up. We will see you guys next race.
Goodbye, everyone.